Greetings, vloggers, bloggers, followers, and potters. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty with another edition of this week's vlog. Today we're going to talk about Recovery Month because September in the United States is National Recovery Month. Now, there's all kinds of recovery out there in the world. There's addiction recovery or there's mental health recovery. Myself, I am autistic, although that is a neurological condition by some that commonly believe. It's also within the DSM-5 and is has had its breakups with the Asperger's aspect of it back in the about 5 or 6 years ago. But moving forward from that, it does not mean that I have other comorbid conditions such as anxiety, bipolar, so on and so forth. So with that in mind, I always focus on my mental health recovery. And it's nice to have people in my life and the things and people in my life that are helpful to my recovery. To get to this point of being independent off and on now, but now on a better turn after 3 years of being on a good track right now. It wasn't easy. And I could tell my life story over and over again. And I probably will someday for a video. However, for the sake of this vlog, I will share some points that are very, and key to that. One thing is that, as many autistic people do, we don't give up. We don't give up at anything. When we're told no to something or we face a challenge, we just don't give up. We're persistent. We want to try harder and harder, and we want to push until we get what we need. That was with me with many things. If you sat me, in a therapy office when I started therapy, 18, 19, 20 years ago, 21 if you count all my years of in-home, you say, well, you don't want to, I wouldn't want to live on my own forever. I thought I was going to be institutionalized. I always had that feeling. And sometimes when I'm in my dark, deep places, I sometimes still think I need to be institutionalized. But in hindsight, I know that I don't want to be institutionalized and that I need to have a better surrounding and that I'm doing well independently and that I need to continue down that track, and I have the necessary tools and devices in order to do that. It wasn't easy. I wasn't even sure, as many people with autism know, and as those who have reached the graduation of high school, oftentimes we're told we won't graduate high school. We'll go to a special school and we'll be put in a home the rest of our lives in many cases, or you'll never see your child again. And I got to that point about 21 years ago. And it's about coming up on that week where I was in residential 21 years ago, and I've been out for 20 now. And, sometimes you think, was that really, to get to that point, had to be rough on my family. And to think that, I would be a successful person was hard. It almost broke up my parents' marriage. They did step away for a while and they did come back. But I was, and even when I got out of placement, I still wasn't 100% where I needed to be. Maybe some trauma, things of that nature that may have pushed that to that limit a little bit. It didn't take until I got involved more in high school and things than not to realize that I can do things and to be doing things that are great. And but that's all good and well, but you have to invest in what you want to be well in, and that is taking your medicine. And that is, if you have therapy appointments, please keep them. Go to the doctor, for your appointments too, to make sure you're compliant with your medicine, because often cases, to ensure that you have your medicine, you have to go to your doctor and your therapist. And, as a person, who's been doing that consistently for the same facility for the past 15 years, I know that I have to do that. And that's what keeps me going. It's not easy to say that. It's easy to say, well, you don't want to take these pills, whatever, but in the end, it makes you who you want to be, and it makes you want to achieve goals. Um, I never thought I'd have a job. 10, I've been employed 11 years now, and I really love my job. But part of that is, being consistent with what I need to do, following through and going to treatment, following through and going to, the day programs as necessary, following up with sessions with now I have had a psych rehab counselor for 2 years now. And, I find that very helpful, and, another way to express things that I cannot fully get out of an hour of therapy a week. Those instances are very helpful to me. Also journaling, doing things that are therapeutic, like listening to music, and music is a great thing. Listening to music is a great help, making sure that I have time for me and time for friends too, because there are people who care about you out there in this world, and I want you to know that you are loved and you are cared for. This world is a very strange world these days. We don't see people in the way we normally would. We normally don't do things in the way we would, but we have to hang in there together and do it for everybody. Be there for everybody. We're all going through this together, and for me to be at this point where I'm living on my own, and I do have a driver's license, and I'm proud of that too, and having a college education, all these things I've accomplished, I wouldn't have done any of it if it wasn't for the peers that not only some of the peers, but also the professionals who said, go ahead and try it because you need to do it for you. And, to realize, sometimes not everything's the right fit, and sometimes things don't work the way we want. But once they do, they're pretty darn awesome. They work pretty well. They'd be a, if I wouldn't think of being here even 3 years ago when I got the other apartment, but things happen for a reason. You have to sometimes take a step back and move a step forward or two, and realize what you need to do to get yourself back on your feet. And last November I did get back on my feet, and I'm very proud of that. I wasn't totally tuned in till just recently, but now that I'm finally back on my feet a lot more better, and I've bounced back better than I ever have, it speaks volumes. And you have to keep, I just want to say, a couple things in closing here is that, recovery is possible, probable, and likely. That has been said by one of my mental health providers for many years. They ensure that, and you can do it. Anybody can do it. You just have to invest in it. You just can't, be willy-nilly and say, I'm not going to do it today because I don't feel like it. There's many mornings I don't want to get out of bed, and the medicine it kicks ass sometimes. That's the honest to God truth. But I know I have to fight it. I know I have to get up and do things, and be a man and go to work, go to programming, and be there for everybody, because they need me too. And it's a struggle sometimes, I'll be honest. But once you do it, you feel awesome. Once you invest that time into learning something new, learning a skill, learning a tool, creating a rap plan, for example, and I have a video on that, that's might be helpful. Those things, all those things are helpful, but you have to put the effort in. You have to put the sweat equity in. You have to really put that effort into your plan, into wanting to do the fight, whatever demon you may have fighting, you are fighting, whatever naysayer, whatever person that wants to put you down, you have to fight it. And that's a struggle sometimes, but you have to do it. There's many days I want to say I could just stay in this square box all day, but what good will it do? So yeah, I just think those things in mind, but it is possible, and every one of them, everyone, and just admitting that you have a problem is the first problem, and then seeking out help and finding the strength in others. That's a big thing. And I do post a lot of encouraging material on my blog and on my website and on my social media platforms. So if you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Dustin's Dynasty ASC, you'll see a lot of inspirational material, and that's what keeps me going. And that's what I hope to keep my fellow followers going as well. So I just want to keep in mind of that. And always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you don't, you give it a thumbs down. I don't care. As always, tap the notification bell for more things. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dustin's Dynasty ASD. You can find me on the web at dustinsdynastyusa.com. And you can also follow me on many Pinterest and TikTok at Dustin's Dynasty ASD. You can also Dustin's Dynasty ASD also on many streaming platforms, including many podcast platforms, including Spotify. So with that, I want to thank you. And I want you to have a good night and have a good weekend too. Thank you.